Did you know that the key to unlocking true strength lies not in what happens to you, but in how you respond to it? If you want to master your emotions, cultivate inner resilience, and thrive in life's constant challenges, you need to embrace a mindset rooted in Stoic principles. Too often, we let the noise of the world pull us away from our center. We get lost in distractions, overthinking, and unnecessary worries, when the true path to peace and fulfillment lies in grounding ourselves in the present, practicing gratitude, and cultivating inner strength. This isn't just another life hack. It's a transformative approach to living with purpose, clarity, and compassion. In this video, we'll explore how embracing the present moment, fostering gratitude, and building mental strength can shift your entire perspective, allowing you to navigate life's storms with grace and resilience. So, if you're ready to take control of your mind and unlock your true potential, stay with me as we dive into these powerful Stoic principles. Let's begin. Number 1. Embrace the present moment. Find strength in the here and now. Imagine the warmth of a summer afternoon, where the sun kisses your skin and the world feels still for a moment. The laughter of a loved one fills the air, and you are completely present, soaking in the joy without a care for the past or the future. It's moments like these when happiness feels so tangible, so effortless. But how often do we actually experience this sense of presence? Too often, our minds drift to the future, worrying about what's next, or they pull us back to replay moments that are long gone. This constant tug of war distracts us from the one thing we truly have control over, the present moment. Here's where Stoicism steps in, reminding us that strength comes not from controlling the uncontrollable, but from focusing on the here and now. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he's offering is not a way to avoid life's challenges, but a tool to navigate them. The present moment is all we really have. By grounding ourselves in it, we gain the clarity and strength to face whatever comes our way. Think back to a time when life threw a curveball your way. Maybe it was the loss of a job, a relationship that ended, or a health scare. Those moments can feel overwhelming, the weight of the world on your shoulders. But if you reflect on them, you'll realize that you made it through. How? By dealing with each day, each moment as it came. In those difficult times, we learn that worrying about tomorrow won't solve today's problems. It's by staying present that we find the resilience to keep going. There's a certain nostalgia in remembering those times of struggle, isn't there? We often look back with a sense of pride in how we survived, how we adapted, how we grew. But it's also a reminder that the past is no longer ours to control. What happened then is over. What lies ahead is uncertain. The only thing that is truly within our grasp is this moment, right here, right now. So, how will you choose to face it? Will you let your mind drift to the anxieties of tomorrow? Or will you ground yourself in today, in this breath, in this heartbeat? Curiosity comes next. How can we fully embrace the present? How can we train our minds to stop wandering to the past and future? The beauty of Stoicism lies in its simplicity. Often, it's about the small moments. Take a deep breath and feel the air fill your lungs. Listen to the sound of your surroundings, whether it's the hum of a city or the peaceful quiet of nature. Each moment is a gift, and when we pay attention, we unlock the strength we didn't know we had. By being fully present, we aren't just surviving, we are thriving even in the toughest of times. Number 2, practice gratitude. Shift your perspective and cultivate resilience. There's a quiet joy in waking up to the smell of freshly brewed coffee, the gentle sound of rain against the window, or the familiar embrace of a loved one. These moments of happiness often slip by unnoticed in the hustle of daily life, but they hold incredible power. Gratitude, at its core, is about recognizing these small blessings, pausing to appreciate what is, instead of fixating on what isn't. But in a world that constantly pushes us to want more, to strive for the next big thing, it's easy to overlook the simple pleasures that are already within our grasp. Stoicism teaches us that happiness isn't found in endless ambition or material success, but in the appreciation of the present. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." When we practice gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have. It's a subtle but profound change in perspective, one that builds resilience in the face of adversity. In acknowledging the good, no matter how small, we strengthen our ability to face life's storms with grace. Think about a time when you were caught up in the grind, maybe at work or in a personal pursuit, always striving, always wanting more. How often did you stop to take stock of what you already had? Chances are it was rare, and yet, when we do pause, when we allow ourselves to feel gratitude, it's like a weight lifts. Remember a time when you did just that. Maybe it was during a particularly difficult phase of your life. Perhaps you were struggling with a personal challenge, yet one day, while sipping a cup of coffee, you found a sense of peace, a realization that despite everything, there were still things to be thankful for. There's a sense of nostalgia in this, isn't there? We often think of the past as a mix of challenges and victories, and through it all, there were moments of beauty, however small. It might have been the warmth of a loved one's support or the simple joy of a quiet moment alone. Gratitude reminds us that even in our hardest times, there is light to be found. And when we reflect on those moments, we realize that it was gratitude that helped us keep going. But how can we cultivate this practice in our everyday lives? Curiosity leads us to ask, how can we train ourselves to see the good when life feels overwhelming? Start small. Each morning, before the rush of the day begins, take a moment to think of one thing, just one, that you're thankful for. It could be as simple as the comfort of your bed, the air you breathe, or the people in your life. This practice doesn't change our circumstances, but it changes us. It builds resilience, allowing us to face challenges with a mindset of abundance, not scarcity. Over time, we learn that gratitude isn't just a feel-good exercise, it's a way of life, one that empowers us to navigate even the toughest days with grace. Number 3, cultivate inner strength. Harness the power of your mind. Picture a day when everything seems to be going your way. The sun is shining, the road ahead feels smooth, and life seems easy. It's in these moments that we feel strong, invincible even. But what happens when the clouds roll in, when the road becomes rocky and life's challenges seem insurmountable? It's in those moments that true strength is tested. And here's where Stoicism offers us one of its most powerful lessons. Inner strength isn't about physical might, it's about mental resilience, the kind that carries us through life's storms. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." His words remind us that strength isn't something we find outside ourselves. It's something we build within. Life is unpredictable, full of ups and downs, and while we can't control the events around us, we can control our reactions. Cultivating inner strength is about harnessing the power of your mind, training yourself to stay grounded, calm, and composed, even when the world feels chaotic. Think about a time when you faced a significant challenge. Maybe it was a financial struggle, a health issue, or the loss of someone dear to you. In those moments, it often feels like the world is crashing down around us. But looking back, you'll likely realize that what got you through wasn't just external help or circumstances shifting in your favor. It was something inside you. It was that quiet, steady voice that said, "Keep going." It was your ability to stay calm amidst the storm, to take things one step at a time. That's inner strength. There's a certain nostalgia in looking back at those tough times. We remember the struggle, yes, but we also remember the resilience we built along the way. We see how we became stronger, how we grew, how we adapted. Inner strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate day by day, choice by choice. And often it's the hardest times that shape us the most. But how do we continue to build this strength? What can we do to prepare ourselves for future challenges? Curiosity drives us to explore. How can we nurture this resilience within ourselves? It starts with small, consistent actions. Each day we face choices, some big, some small, that either strengthen or weaken us. By choosing to face difficulties head-on, by embracing discomfort instead of avoiding it, we train our minds to grow stronger. Over time, we become more resilient, more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. Inner strength isn't about avoiding life's challenges. It's about facing them with courage, grace, and the unshakable belief that we have the power to endure. Number 4, practice patience. Trust the process and flow with time. There's a quiet joy in moments when everything feels in sync, when you're stuck in traffic, yet somehow it doesn't bother you, or when a slow day at work turns into an opportunity to reflect and recharge. Happiness in these moments comes from surrendering to the flow of time, from allowing yourself to accept that some things are beyond your control. But how often do we truly embrace patience in a world that demands instant results and immediate gratification? Stoicism teaches us that patience is not passive waiting, but an active practice of trusting the process of life. Seneca once said, "Time discovers truth." In this, we are reminded that life unfolds in its own time, not ours. By practicing patience, we cultivate an inner calm that allows us to handle life's delays, setbacks, and uncertainties with grace. It's not about resigning ourselves to fate, but about understanding that everything happens in its own time, and rushing won't get us there any faster. Think back to a time when impatience got the better of you. Maybe it was waiting for a promotion, trying to lose weight, or healing from a personal loss. You were eager for change, desperate for progress, but it felt like nothing was happening. In those moments, frustration and anxiety often take over, making the wait even harder. Yet, if you reflect on those times now, you'll likely see that things eventually fell into place. Progress came, but not when you demanded it, when it was meant to. And looking back, you might even feel nostalgic for the journey itself, for the lessons learned, and the growth that came from the waiting. Nostalgia for those challenging times reveals something powerful. The understanding that growth doesn't happen overnight. It's in the waiting, in the moments of uncertainty, that we develop resilience and strength. We often remember the outcome, but it's the process, the time in between, that truly shapes us. Those moments of frustration and doubt were necessary steps on the path to where you are now. But how do we cultivate patience in a world that pushes us to want everything now? Curiosity invites us to explore. How can we learn to trust the process, to flow with time rather than fight against it? Start by recognizing that impatience is rooted in a desire for control. When we feel anxious about the future, it's because we want certainty and we want it now. But life rarely works that way. Practicing patience means letting go of the need for immediate answers, trusting that things will unfold as they're meant to. It's about taking a deep breath, slowing down, and reminding yourself that good things take time. The seed doesn't become a tree overnight, and neither do we. Number 5, understand what is within your control. Focus on what truly matters. Picture yourself on a warm beach, the ocean waves gently crashing against the shore. In this moment, you feel a deep sense of calm. content with the simplicity of just being. It's a happy feeling, one that comes from letting go of life's stresses and simply focusing on the beauty around you. But how often do we experience this kind of peace in our daily lives? More often than not, we're caught up in a whirlwind of things beyond our control. Other people's opinions, the outcomes of our efforts, or the unpredictable nature of life itself. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, remind us of a fundamental truth. We only have control over our own actions, thoughts, and responses. Some things are in our control, and others not, Epictetus said. When we focus on what we can control, our own behavior and mindset, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that come from trying to manage the uncontrollable. This simple but profound realization shifts our entire perspective on life. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by something beyond your control. Maybe it was a personal conflict, an unexpected event, or the outcome of a hard-fought goal. In those moments, it's easy to spiral into frustration, anger, or sadness. But now, looking back, you might realize that no matter how much you worried or tried to change the situation, the only thing that truly mattered was how you responded to it. This recognition brings a sense of nostalgia. Those moments, as tough as they were, taught you something essential. Control is an illusion. The only thing you ever truly had power over was yourself. There's a sense of peace in that nostalgia, isn't there? We look back on those difficult times with a clearer understanding. We see that by letting go of the need to control everything around us, we actually gain more power. The power to choose how we respond, the power to focus on what truly matters. It's a liberating thought, one that takes us out of the chaos of the external world and grounds us in our own agency. Curiosity then leads us to ask, how can we train ourselves to focus on what's within our control? How do we let go of the things that aren't? It starts with mindfulness. Each time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, practice releasing it. This doesn't mean you stop caring or stop trying, but that you direct your energy where it will make a difference, on your own actions, your own thoughts. Over time, this practice builds resilience and clarity, helping you navigate life's challenges with a sense of calm and purpose. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you find the strength to focus on what truly matters, how you choose to live each moment. Number 6, learn from adversity. Turn challenges into opportunities for growth. There's a certain happiness that comes from overcoming a challenge, from the satisfaction of knowing you pushed through something difficult and came out stronger on the other side. Whether it's finishing a tough project, navigating a personal crisis, or simply making it through a challenging day, these moments remind us of our capacity to grow. Yet, when we're in the thick of it, adversity often feels like a burden, something to avoid or resist. But what if we could see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth? Stoicism teaches us that adversity is an inevitable part of life, but it's how we respond to it that defines us. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the very challenges we face are the path to growth. Instead of seeing adversity as something to escape, we should embrace it as a necessary part of our development. Each challenge is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think back to a time when you faced a significant obstacle. Maybe it was a career setback, a personal loss, or a difficult relationship. At the time, it might have felt overwhelming, as though the world was closing in on you. But now, as you reflect on that experience, you likely see how it shaped you. Maybe it taught you patience, resilience, or the importance of setting boundaries. There's a sense of nostalgia in remembering those moments, not for the hardship itself, but for the strength you found within yourself. Nostalgia for those tough times often comes with a sense of pride. We look back and realize that the very things we once feared or resented were the things that helped us grow. Those challenges were not setbacks, but stepping stones, leading us to where we are today. And in that realization, we find gratitude, not just for the good times, but for the hard ones as well. Curiosity then compels us to ask, how can we actively embrace adversity? How can we shift our mindset to see challenges as opportunities rather than burdens? It starts with reframing our perspective. When faced with a difficulty, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This small shift in thinking transforms adversity into a teacher, a guide that shows us where we need to grow. Over time, as we face more challenges, we build a mindset of resilience. We stop fearing adversity and start welcoming it as a natural part of life's journey, one that ultimately makes us stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling whatever comes next. Number 7. Seek wisdom. Commit to lifelong learning and reflection. There's a certain happiness that comes from discovery, the joy of learning something new, the satisfaction of gaining insight that changes your perspective on life. Think back to the last time you stumbled upon a new idea, a new way of seeing the world, or a lesson that resonated with you. That feeling of curiosity mixed with excitement is a reminder that wisdom is not a destination, but a journey. Each new piece of knowledge adds a layer to who we are, shaping our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In Stoic philosophy, the pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong endeavor. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal meditations, constantly reflected on his actions, thoughts, and decisions, understanding that wisdom comes not from age, but from continuous reflection and learning. Seneca also reminds us that, while we teach, we learn, highlighting the importance of remaining humble and open to new knowledge throughout our lives. To the Stoics, wisdom wasn't just about knowing things, it was about understanding how to apply that knowledge to live a better, more virtuous life. Now think about a time in your life when you felt like you had all the answers, only to realize later that there was so much more to learn. It's a humbling feeling, isn't it? Maybe you were younger, thinking you had everything figured out, only to face a situation that challenged your beliefs or forced you to rethink your approach. Looking back, those moments often bring a sense of nostalgia, not just for the person you were, but for the lessons you learned along the way. You realize now that wisdom isn't about certainty, it's about curiosity, about always being open to learning and growing. This nostalgia for the lessons learned over time reminds us of the beauty of continuous growth. Every challenge, every mistake, every new experience has contributed to the person you are today. And it's not just the big, life-changing moments that matter. It's the small, everyday lessons, the insights that come from reflection, conversation, and observation. The Stoics understood that true wisdom is found in the quiet moments of introspection, in the willingness to question ourselves and seek truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Curiosity then pushes us further. How can we actively seek wisdom in our daily lives? How can we ensure that we are constantly learning, reflecting, and growing? It begins with humility, the recognition that no matter how much we know, there is always more to learn. This mindset keeps us open to new ideas, perspectives, and insights. It also means embracing the practice of self-reflection, regularly taking time to examine our thoughts, actions, and decisions. By doing so, we not only grow wiser, but we also cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world, becoming more resilient, compassionate, and grounded individuals. Number 8. Cultivate compassion. Foster empathy to strengthen yourself and others. Imagine a moment when you extended kindness to someone and felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Maybe it was helping a friend through a tough time, offering a listening ear, or simply being there when someone needed you. There's a happiness that comes from these acts of compassion, not because we seek reward, but because we recognize the shared humanity in those moments. Compassion connects us, grounding us in the understanding that we are all in this life together, facing our own struggles and challenges. In Stoic philosophy, compassion is not seen as a weakness, but as a strength. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of recognizing our shared nature as human beings, writing, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I'm about to criticize?" This idea encourages empathy. Before passing judgment or reacting with frustration, we are asked to see ourselves in others, to remember that we are all flawed, and that kindness is a more powerful response than anger or blame. Think about a time when someone showed you compassion. Perhaps it was during a difficult moment when you felt alone or overwhelmed. Their empathy, their ability to listen without judgment, made all the difference. Reflecting on that moment brings a sense of nostalgia, gratitude for the support you received, and perhaps a deeper understanding of the importance of offering that same compassion to others. These memories remind us that we never truly walk alone. There are always people who are willing to help, and we have the power to be that source of strength for someone else. This nostalgia for moments of compassion highlights the transformative power of empathy. When we are kind to others, we not only help them through their struggles, but we also strengthen ourselves. Compassion builds resilience, teaching us to approach life with understanding rather than frustration. It reminds us that we all face challenges, and that our response to those challenges, whether for ourselves or others, defines the kind of world we create. Curiosity leads us to explore further. How can we cultivate compassion in a world that often feels divided, where it's easy to react with anger or indifference? It starts with mindfulness. Compassion begins with awareness of our own emotions, of others' experiences, and of the shared struggles that unite us. By practicing empathy, by choosing to listen and respond with kindness, we foster deeper connections with those around us. Over time, this practice not only strengthens our relationships, but it also makes us more resilient, helping us approach life's challenges with a sense of purpose and grace. Compassion in this way becomes both a personal strength and a gift we give to the world. If you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step toward mastering your mind and embracing a Stoic way of life. You've explored how staying grounded in the present, practicing gratitude, and cultivating inner strength can help you overcome even the toughest challenges. These principles are not just philosophical ideas, they're tools that you can apply every single day to transform your mindset and take control of your emotions. Drop a 100 in the comments if you've watched this far. It shows you're part of the rare 0.01% who finish what they start, and that's already a testament to your dedication. If you're truly committed to creating lasting change in your life, make sure to subscribe to our channel and become part of a community that strives for growth and resilience every day. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep moving forward.